Morning, guys. Um, this morning, um, I wanted to come and um, talk a little bit about balance. I want to talk about emotions too, because I have, even last night, it's funny, I was having a conversation about emotions. Um, but anyway, I wanted also, I noticed I hadn't given really an update about my surgery in a minute. And you guys really have to forgive me because the lighting is really dark. Um, I've noticed that, and I'm sorry about that. I'm not really in a situation to change that at the moment, but hopefully everything comes out okay. This is now, actually, tomorrow will be a month since I had my hysterectomy. And as I kind of told you guys before, it was mine was a little bit different because from previous surgeries, I'd had a lot of scar tissue and things stuff. So some things got covered up and everything. So scar tissue had to be removed. And it's a very delicate type surgery anyway. So it took my doctor longer than normal, which means my recovery, you know, is going to take longer than the average woman that just, has a hysterectomy. Now, it's a major surgery for anybody. And but my last visit, she did say that I was doing actually remarkably well for, the type of surgery that I have or had. And so, I mean, things are okay. I'm better. I'm feeling better. But I notice as I begin to feel better, I try to do more. And I wind up kind of throwing myself back because, I'm doing too much. So I'm gonna have to kind of take it easy a little bit. But I'm used to being up and being independent and doing things, and uh, so that's kind of a bad habit for me because I'm not used to just sitting and so I do push myself, but I have a little pain, so that pain reminds me, okay, girl, you ain't ready yet, But it's a process, it's a process. So I'm gonna take 1 week at a time. I am continuing as best I can to do the things that I can do while I'm not able to do a lot, in order that when I am fully healed, I can go ahead and just finish my process. And what I mean by that, one of the things I'm doing a lot of studying because there is a major test that I have to take and undergo. So I'm using this time of recovery and everything to study. Actually, I'm studying for a couple of different things. So I'm using that time to, sit here and study and listen to tapes and all this kind of stuff so that when I'm fully healed, I can hopefully just get up, go out, pass my test, and bam, start on my next projects. So that's my little uh, schmeal about how I am. I'm doing okay, it's just kind of a pain thing now, just kind of dealing with the soreness and being trying to get up and do a little bit more each day and things like that. But I want to talk about balance today and emotions and so forth. I was just asked a question um, about somebody. I was on social media. Somebody made a post about emotions getting in the way and how emotions um, can hinder you. I absolutely agree. And I said something to the effect of reacting in emotions can really, I mean, basically just mess you up, because uh, you know, emotions most time cause you not to think about a consequence, not to react logically. And what it does is it just kind of, you're. Here's a perfect example. I was watching a video of an incident that happened in my hometown. I still get the news from my hometown uh, on social media. And so there was a car accident on the freeway. They had both pulled over, and it was two women. I really can't tell if they were black or white, or well, I know they weren't white. They could have been either black or Hispanic or something like that. But anyway, um, so uh, whoever was videotaping the incident was videotaping the fact that they were fighting. So this woman in the back car, I don't know if she hit her or if, I don't really know how it went, but anyway, the woman in the back car was in the other woman's car and they were fighting, you know, and a guy comes along and jumps in the woman's car. Now, he was clearly Hispanic. He looked like he was Hispanic. Not that that matters at all. But he jumps in the woman's car and takes off. He stole her car while she's in here fighting the other woman. And, you know, it was funny to me. My first reaction was that it was funny to me. And my reaction was also, it kind of serves her right, because the protocol that you have when you get into an accident is you exchange your information. I mean, usually, sometimes they call the cops and all that kind of stuff. And I guess if it's real big accident, that's what you need to do. But when it's just a fender bender, or when you just, you bump, tap a car, whatever, you exchange information, you get yourself on off the highway or whatever it is, and you deal with it, But to be sitting on the freeway fighting, you know, because she hit your car or she did this or she cut you, whatever the situation was, and I understand that, it's emotional. It's they hit your car, you got to pay. Might have been a new car. I didn't pay attention to the car, whatever. And it makes you mad. She might have been on the phone. She might have been doing something stupid. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, she got her car stolen for doing something stupid, for reacting in her emotions. She got mad, pissed off, and was like, I'm going to beat this beat behind. You know what I'm saying? And that's what she did, but she had to pay a price, And so that's an example of your reacting emotionally was not beneficial to her, you know? And the whole point of the matter is that we need balance, you know. Somebody put on the post, aren't emotions a good thing? You need to know how to use them and so forth, and they are. The creatress uh, gave us emotions for a reason. We have them for a reason. We're not supposed to be robots. We're not supposed to be just cold and bland and just you have no feeling or whatever. You need emotion, but you need balance with emotions. You see what I'm saying? So this is kind of the perception of what I wanted to, or the gist of what I wanted to talk to today is about the balance, um, and so somebody came back and asked me a question. He said something about, wouldn't that have to do with being patient? And my response to him was that, in my opinion, patience is a little bit different. Patience is more of a thing of where you're waiting kind of for something to happen or whatever. I guess in the instance of what he's talking about is that, isn't it patient to, not necessarily react emotionally or what have you? And I guess you could look at it like that. I guess it could be a form of patience, but to me, it's more of a thing of being able to sit back, to think about long-term effects and consequences and so forth, and not, as I say, react emotionally. You know what I'm saying? From what I see in this society, the way this thing has been structured, we are so emotional. We are so we are a whole straight up emotional society. And in my opinion, for black people, that has been a learned behavior because from what I know historically of us and our behaviors, we are a more methodical type people. We don't just do stuff on emotion. We don't just react to stuff like that. That's not indicative of our culture. There are other cultures that I believe that we've learned from that just react. Most times they don't think, they just do stuff. They don't react when something comes into their life or whatever that they can't handle, that it was unexpected. They do really crazy emotional things that they just react on emotion, and they say stuff emotionally, they do things emotionally, and a lot of times it's to their detriment. A lot of times, they just really don't think things out. They don't think things through. They don't look at consequences, which is a huge problem when you start talking about emotions. You have to think about consequences. Now let's take another example. Any mom, dads too, but any mom who you know say somebody hit their child. Well, hey, I don't care if it's a child, a teenager, or an adult. You hit my child. You know what I'm saying? Now I want to know the reason. I do want to know the reason, but the fact of the matter is you hit my child, and that's going to cause a reaction in me. That's going to cause a reaction in most people. That's going to cause a reaction in the animal kingdom. Let somebody do something to a lioness cub, a tiger's cub, a horse's foal, whatever, and the instinct is to protect. The instinct is to protect what you love. You know what I'm saying? It's natural. Um, and so, but at the same time, yeah, you have those emotions, yeah, those feelings and everything come up in you, but at the same time, you can't just go to the school and shoot whoever. You can't just go to the school and jump on the teacher or whatever. You can't just, you know, be mad because somebody bumped your car and get out the car and just whoop they behind. You know what I'm saying? You can't just react on emotion and just do whatever it is you want to do. And like I'm saying, this is the type of society that we are in, you know. And so you can do that, but you can't do it without realizing that there's going to be a consequence for what you have done. And this is what I'm talking about. Usually reacting in emotion causes you to kind of throw consequences and long-term effects and so forth out of the window, because when you think about, well, the teacher said or did such and such to my child, now if I go up there and whoop her behind, you know what I'm saying, I might feel good, I might feel justified, and it might be like I say, justification for it. But at the same time, I'm looking at the possibility of possibly getting charges filed against me and going to jail. Well, that's my job. That's my child now. Especially if I'm a single mom, I might be possibly going to jail. Who's going to keep my child? It's possibly a fine. That's just some extra money that I might be fined where, I don't necessarily have it. You know what I'm saying? So it's consequences that we need to think about. I'm not saying don't do anything about this situation, if that was the case. But what I'm saying is learn how to sit down and wait and think and work out scenarios. And, one of the things I do, I am very good with going over people's heads. That is one of my greatest tools, because I realize that everybody have somebody to answer to. Now, like I say, I go up there, whoop the teacher behind. Well, more than likely, I'm going to have a lot more consequences than if I had taken it to the principal, taken it to the school board, wrote some letters, to some people, did some legal things, you know, have a track record of some things that may have been going on with your child and the teacher that may have led up to all of this kind of thing. And then in that case, you may have a more even long-term and permanent effect of something actually really happening to her, like her getting fired, or her getting moved, or her, there actually being some real big consequences to her, instead of you just go up there and whoop her ass. you know and okay, I feel better. This it's you, if you want some real change, usually change, good long-term effective change, doesn't come with you just acting on your emotions. So um like I say, this is where we need balance. We need balance in everything in our life. We need balance in our relationships. Uh, as I say, this society, and well, let's talk about the feminine and the male aspect of that. Now, we know women, we are more emotional. We tend to lean more on our emotions and so forth, whereas men usually are a lot more logical. That's just kind of the way that it is. Now we're in a society right now where men are very emotional, very sensitive, very it's a lot of feminine energy. The reason behind that, you got a lot of reasons. It's a lot of reasons for that now. A lot of men have been raised in single parent homes. A lot of men have been, it's so many different reasons to that. I can't and don't even want to go into that reasoning. And it's okay for a man to be emotional, or to use his emotions sometimes, but as with anything, like I say, he can't just be just straight overly emotional. You know what I'm saying? He needs some balance. Same thing with a woman. It becomes difficult for us when we just live and go by our emotions, and we're crying and we upset and we this and that, and our hormones are going. Now, some of that's just kind of natural because, of the way we're made and structured. But this is why it's so important to balance feminine energy with male masculine energy. I am a woman. If I am, and I've been in this situation, you know, before, whereas I'm a woman. I'm getting upset. I'm getting emotional. I'm getting, just all bent out of shape about something, because I'm an emotional being, you know. And when I speak to a male, especially an alpha male, like I say, I've said it before. I am so happy with the males who are in my life and who I am around and surrounded by, because not only are they smart, they are um, they're alpha males, and so they have this male energy, whereas they are able to talk to me and give me another perspective that most of the time I haven't even come up with, because I'm just in my emotions right now, you know. But they're able to say, okay, well, that's justified, but look at it this way. Or that's justified, but what if such and such? Or maybe you can do such and such, or whatever. And so it helps me, and it brings about a balance. And this is why I say it's so important for us to have male and female perspective. It's good to have masculine and feminine energy, and really in all situations. Now, we as female, of course, we have masculine energy. We're a whole, full, balanced person. You have feminine energy and masculine energy. But at the same time, like I say, sometimes it's hard when you live more in one to bring about those energies, bring those energies to the surface. Same example with a man. A lot of times, men So let's use the example of disciplining children. Now, I got my own personal whatever about men disciplining children. I'm not really, I'm kind of, well, let's just drop that. But a man disciplining his child for whatever. Now, let's say, he's mad. Well, I mean, he's upset and he's full of testosterone or whatever else, and, you know, it could be that not that the child doesn't necessarily deserve a whooping, but maybe there may be another way that he could deal with the situation instead of out of anger or because, he just, um, so then you have the mom, you have the mother come by and say, well, babe, let's talk about this or whatever. Let's, discuss the situation, or maybe her viewpoint or whatever could kind of show him another aspect of why the child may have been acting that way. Instead of him just grabbing the child and beating the hell out of him, maybe it's some stuff that he don't know. Maybe it's another perspective that he can take to kind of calm down a little bit. And like I say, I've been in that situation to where I was able to, kind of talk him down a little bit and help him to see or understand the situation a little bit better. Now, the child still may or may not get a whooping. I don't know. Each situation is different, but still, as I'm saying, men sometimes can be in a situation to where, you know, they're not using any emotion, or they're not thinking uh, in a way that, they are they're just kind of a hard and just tough and just that's it, just hard, tough, man, whatever. um, that's not good either. That's not good either. You need to be able sometimes to tap into, I was speaking with a friend. Here's a perfect example. I was speaking with a friend, and he was telling me about the fact that, he's a manly man, a macho man, or whatever. And, his ego just, especially when he was even younger. And so he said that he understands why the universe gave him a daughter. And he said it was because it was to bring him down. It was to bring him down a few notches, to be able to, you know, watch some cartoons and, do girly things. And, hey, he's a father, and he is being able to be sensitive and gentle now and hold babies and love babies and treat a girl, of course, different than what you treated a little boy. Now, if you, had a son, it might have been a whole different thing. He may not have come down from his ego. Now, this is what he's saying. But that little girl just totally broken. That's what he said. I mean, she just totally, he's not a wimp, but she softened him, and this is what he confessed, you know. So that's pretty much. I don't want to keep on. I think you all understand. I think you all get the gist of what I'm trying to say. We need a balance in our emotions. Um, Man, we are in such an emotional society. Most people just react. Something happens, whatever. People just react. People just go and just, there was another little quick situation that I want to bring up where, you have these mass shootings. You have these uh, situations where, people are just going out, just taking people out in mass numbers and then killing themselves. And it's just like, it's more going on than emotion, of course. There's some mental instability there. But my point was like, why are you, why do you have to? That's what you have decided, and that is what you are going to do with and in your life. If you feel that there's nothing else to live for, if you feel that this world has gotten so bad, if you feel that the situation, whatever it is that you're in, has gotten so bad that you don't want to be here anymore, you're going to kill yourself or whatever, why do you have to take everybody else with you? This is the thing that I don't get. Why do other people have to go with you? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's suicide is horrible. You shouldn't. I mean, but some people come to that point to where they feel that there is nothing left. My point is, though, but golly, do you have to take 15 other people with you? Do you have to just go to a school and spray up a school and shoot and kill I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's emotional. That's not logical. That's not thinking. I mean, this child could have been a lawyer. That child might have been the president. That child over there might have been a doctor. This child may have had a destiny to do something that was going to absolutely and completely change and turn the whole world around for good. But you've taken their life. You've taken their life, and you're not thinking about this. These people are not thinking and reacting logically, because if they were, they wouldn't do it. So we have to learn balance. We have to learn balance. We have to. We can't be robots and just live unemotional and just logical and thinking all the time. You need some softness and emotions and all that with that. And at the same time, you can't just be an emotional basket case either. You have to sit down and think and reason and logically come to explanations and think about consequences. So this is what we have to do, and the best way to go about doing that is by taking a moment, taking a breather, sitting down, uh, looking at the situation, and coming to a rational decision. One of the last things I want to say, like I keep saying, this society it's a whole emotional society, um, and so much in this society has caused us to be a non-thinking people. We are a trained people, and we know what to do in certain situations because we have been trained. But to actually sit down and think about this and bring up this scenario and all this kind of stuff, that's really not encouraged in this society, because what is encouraged is that we tell you this is what you do, this is how you respond. That's not the freedom of the creator. You know what I'm saying? That's not the freedom of the creator. The creator gave us free will. The creator gave us a mind. The creator gave us all of these things that are operable in us in order to be effective and to think and to reason. Most of those things, most things are already in us. It's already innate within us. Um, but because we've been trained and taught how to do things, act upon things, and respond to things, then we're not able to come to the best logical uh, situation for ourselves. Every situation is not good for everybody. So just a whole wide range, this is what you do in that situation is not good. That might have been good for you, that might have worked for you, but that may not be good for me. So this is why we need to get into a an atmosphere or a lifestyle behavior to where we begin to think about what's best for us. We begin to think about, maybe coming out from the norm and the training and what they do, and start to think for ourselves and think on our own, because thinking mass and generally or whatever does not work for everybody. I don't think it really works for anybody, because as I say, it keeps you, and it keeps you from thinking. It keeps you from doing what's best for you. We're in a society where so often you're punished for free thinking. You're punished for going against the crowd and doing what you want to do and thinking for yourself. You get punished for that. You get ridiculed for that. You get called insensitive for that. And you get punished a lot of times in in this culture for that. And so we become afraid. We become afraid, and we just do what everybody else is doing. But that's not good. It's not good for us. And this is also, a pathway to growth. It is a pathway to becoming higher, uh, becoming thinking and rational and reasonable um, entities for ourselves. You know, we have to do that. We have to learn how to come out from among them and be separate. You know, that's a scripture that just came up. But yeah, we have to do that. That's a good thing for us to learn how to think for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, going with the crowd and going with the masses is not always conducive. So you guys have a great day. It's hot here today, and I'm gonna try to stay cool. So you guys have a great day, and thank you all so much for subscribing. Please subscribe. Um, to the next video. We'll see you next time.